Welcome to another 3D comparison video. This will be the case study, so a Lego character. And as we can see over here, the character input prompt will look like this. So this will be the single image. And this will be the first model. It's called PartCrafter. And as we can see, it can create the model using multiple parts. Now, I also inputted the same within Tripo, and this will be the output. If I will go within segmentation, we're going to see that the components will be like this. So we see over here the hand is also a little bit connected. Over here the wrench has two components, so not the best splitting. We're going to take a look over here at CSM. So we see the individual elements, so the wrench, the welding tool. This one is for the back. As we can see, the alignment of the gears is not that well defined in this case. This will be the Lego character. So we're going to have those two hands individually. For some reason, we also have this additional hand with a segmented finger. This will be for the torso, so another torso. Not sure exactly why CSM generated so many parts, because we're going to have multiple heads in this case and multiple torsos and also hands. And we're also going to take a look over here at Rodin. So I'm not able to create multi-parts components since I'm only having access to the free account over here. But we're going to take a look at the single mesh in this case and how we can split those within Blender. So let's get started. This will be the reference image. This will be the PartCrafter, as we can see. So let's start with PartCrafter. As we can see, there are multiple floating meshes. For example, over here on the wrench, if I'm going to press Tab, A, P, and I will isolate by loose parts, we're going to have this additional geometry over here. The same will be over here for the back, so we see some floating geometry over there as well. What I like about this model is that it will have some cutouts in the back, just like a Lego part, and it will be the same for the torso. So it actually took that input for a Lego character, and some of the parts will have those cutouts. We see over here for the hands. Again, if I want to split those by loose parts, I can then work with each individual hand. I can link this and I can split this as well. And we can animate this character. The following model will be Rodin. So as I said, I don't have access to the segmentation model over here, just the simple mesh. But if I'm going to press Tab, A, and P, isolate by loose parts, in this case, with the Rodin model, we're going to see that I have the possibility to then work with some of the meshes. We see over here that they will be split like this. So we're going to see that the same principle will apply to other models, especially since this wasn't intended for mesh segmentation. So we need to further work with into details with more, let's say, caution when we're going to do that individual meshing by hand. We're going to see the following one. Okay, so we have the following model over here. This will be from Tripo, and as you can see, this will be the head of the character. This will be for the backpack. We see those gears. So the model from Tripo has a really good texture. With Rodin, we can also go to 4K texture, but in this case, again, I don't have access to that. With a free account, with Tripo, I have an account that will allow me to generate 4K texture. So we can already see that difference over here. We see how fine detailed are the texture over here, while the one on Rodin is a little bit off. And we're also going to have those shaded materials, as we can see over here for that wrench. But over here, this will be different. So as we can see, those shades are not embedded in the texture. So this is a PBR material. And now without baked textures. Over here for the head as well, we're going to see that overall Tripo has the best texture out of all of these tools. Now regarding the mesh splitting, we have the same problem. the welding tool will be like this. So we need to go manually and fix this and separate, and it's quite a lot of work. Now let's load the model from CSM, because we're going to have a kit with all of those for this object. Let's say if I will go, for example, on this one, I have the possibility to download the kit. So we're going to have multiple characters, 2 heads over here, and let's see how we can work with that. If I will go to File Import, GLB, that kit will be over here. So I'm going to import all of those. We have them now loaded. We see the statistics. So this model over here, if I will just select the one made with Rodin, 120k faces. The model from Tripo, 150k faces. And the vast majority of geometry will be split between CSM and PartCrafter in this case. Let me just further move those a little bit over here. So we see there's quite a lot of floating geometry over here remaining from this model. As you can see, when I do the selection, I should have that checked. Or I can just select the model over here. So this will be Rodin. I'm gonna move everything regarding the model. Let me just try to retrace that, reselect it. I still see that there are some floating geometry over there. Okay, but let's see what CSM created. So we're gonna have over here a pair of, so we have the head and the hair of the character. This will be the goggles, as we can see. We're gonna have the backpack with the gears, but let's see that this will be the legs. As you can see, the legs will only have the cutout for the leg on the bottom, while the others, for example, Tripo, had it over here like a Lego. So that means that the model is a little bit better trained on real Lego parts. This will be the backpack. And as you can see, this should be somewhere in the back, but the alignment of those gears are not that well defined. We're gonna have over here a hand. Not sure exactly why CSM created this. And if you recall, it also had a finger. And let's take a look over here. We're gonna have a torso, which will be this one. I will slightly move this. This will be the hand that is not Lego. This will be the whole, let's say, character in this case. As you can see, it will also have those 2 Lego character hands. And this will be the wrench. This will be the weld cable. And we still have over here a head. And now this will be a cylinder, but not sure exactly what's the purpose of that. We see the wrench over here. This is pretty well defined. If you're going to compare it with the other wrenches, for example, the one made with Tripo, this was divided into 2 meshes like this. So mesh segmentation in the current model from Tripo is not that well defined. This one for Rodin was not intended for that. And this one with PartCrafter look like this. Also, if you're going to take a closer look on the model from PartCrafter, it's geometry. It has a lot of geometry, but it's not that well distributed over here. If you're going to compare that, for example, with CSM over here, things will look like this. So in this case, this is not made from quads, it's made from triangles. But overall, the distribution is a little bit better. And this will be the additional finger that CSM model decided to create. We're going to also have those additional hands over here that maybe we can position them over here within that model. Okay, so this was an overview regarding mesh segmentation using PartCrafter, as we can see, Tripo, Rodin, even though I don't have access to the mesh segmentation algorithm for this tool, and also CSM. I also made a previous video regarding CSM, and for that, it created the components and the mesh segmentation really well. This is the model created from CSM using the clone trooper over here, and this will be the output. As you can see, we have the pistol, we have the character, and CSM also decided to create this additional hand that we can further go and work with for this character. Now, I wanted to add this because CSM for this case study, using this image, outputted the following model. But over here for this one, it kind of created a lot of elements for that. So we have multiple torsos, multiple heads for the same image. Not sure exactly why it did that. I know that the model is currently being tweaked, so maybe that's one of the reasons. They recently started to add more parts, more than 16, and I think that is the main reason. They still need to tinker with the algorithm in order to obtain good results. But in my opinion, this is a good example, and it works really good. So for this case study, it managed to recreate the Lego character. For the other one, it struggled, but I'm sure that it will improve. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this kind of content. I'm going to position a similar video over here on the left side, and I will also add a subscribe button to the right. So that's it. Thanks for watching.